This is the Violent Professional Podcast brought to you by AriesClothing.com.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Mark Manning from the Aries Climb team. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing damn good.
Awesome. So I want to get you on here as like the first person for one of the first people for the podcast, because there's a lot of people that follow you guys, and relative to the other teams, nobody follows the fucking jump team because we're kind of useless. I've always said that we just jump and have fun and whatever. But we went on Instagram Live and had some people ask some questions about stuff they're interested in, and so we'll just get into it. We wanted to talk about like the way we met each other originally was this group called Completely Unprepared, right?
Yep, absolutely. So Completely Unprepared, we had a small group, only 4 people. Myself, buddy Matt, Daniel, my brother, Daniel Manning, and TJ Hansen. So we're all from different backgrounds. TJ is law enforcement, Matt in the Army, and my brother Daniel also in the Army, National Guard, but he's, into other things as well. But we basically, those 3 guys are the guys that started the whole thing. They had the idea, came up with Completely Unprepared. We all like the outdoors. We got out and have a good time as friends all the time. Basically, they made a group dedicated to just having a damn good time and being, in essence, completely unprepared. We used to go out in the woods. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were just getting out there to enjoy nature, So we didn't know what gear we're supposed to have. We're going out climbing mountains in Walmart shoes and jeans and taking our shirts off, climbing snow-covered mountains. It's not the smartest thing, but in essence, that's what it was completely unprepared.
And you had a Instagram page too, right?
Absolutely. We had an Instagram page with probably 100 followers, and we just posted the stupid shit that we did, getting out and swimming through rivers, floating down rivers on the backs of inflatable sea turtles, this whitewater glacier-fed river. So
where'd you find inflatable sea turtles? A specific sea turtle?
That specific one came from Walmart, I think. But
okay.
I mean, I've seen
the
them online and stuff.
Walmart breed.
Yep. So yeah, we find those floaties every year. Daniel has a yearly trip to Clay Elum for his basically an anniversary bachelor party, and everybody finds different floaties. There's a guy last year that brought 2 blow up dolls and taped them together. It was pretty cool.
They float pretty good, I bet. I remember when we first met, I would look at your feed, and it was like you guys did some really awesome shit that was going on, like all the images and stuff you were putting out.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an amateur photographer. It's one of my passions. I never really had a nice camera. Actually, just bought one that's actually decent. Basically, I wanted to get a point of view that nobody usually gets. You see a lot of this photography stuff online, on Instagram, on websites and stuff, where it's specific point of view. Everybody has the same damn picture because it's from the same fucking spot that they climb to, or from a viewpoint or something. I like to get off the trail. I like to get, into the dirt. I like to get into the snow and take a kind of a point of view that nobody else gets,
I would the one that I recognize a lot is there's usually a chick in front of the dude holding her hand back, and I was like, man, you could get you and Dan doing something like that with ice axes or
fucking
something.
Spoof it. I love it.
Fuck yeah. That's So on that, you guys had some really interesting adventures that you were doing during Completely Unprepared. What was your favorite memory or favorite trip from any of those times that you did that you still remember?
From Completely Unprepared, I remember our first Eleanor trip. We had climbed Eleanor prior, but as Completely Unprepared, we climbed it again, and we climbed. Basically, Daniel, Matt, and I tried to climb up Mount Washington on an off season to where it was snow covered. The trail, you couldn't even find the trail. We went up, started on the Eleanor Trail and tried to cross back over to the Mount Washington Trail. And we're like, well, fuck it. I can't find the trail. Let's just head straight up the mountain. We got it. I mean, if you go up, you're going to hit the top, right? So we just started going. So we're hitting these inclines that are just ridiculous. There's no way, you're going to, you see a viewpoint and you're like, all right, well, there's got to be the top after that. We can see the summit after that. And you hit that, it turns out to be a false summit, So you get higher and higher and higher. You've been hiking for 6 hours, and then you turn and look back, and you're like, holy shit, there's a cloud line right there. I can't see anything below that. I don't know where I came from.
Start to get a little bit panicked, what the fuck are we going to do?
But at that point, you're like, fuck it, let's just keep going.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. So just keep climbing, come up to this rock face, climb up on the rock face, and lo and behold, you're like, holy shit, I've never seen a view like this. That's where I take my pictures, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of shit that I want to bring to everybody else as far as taking pictures and then the climb team kind of represents what our completely unprepared was all about. And then the climb team kind of molded into, I need to take other people and do the same shit that have it's the same kind of mindset.
Yeah. So how did you? So I know how we met, but why don't you tell people from your perspective how you transitioned from completely unprepared to now the Aries climb team?
Well, the three amigos, TJ, Matt, and Daniel, came to me and said, "Hey, Mark, we want you to be part of this group because we think you're a little more responsible than we are.
Yeah.
We need somebody who's a little bit older, has a little bit more, responsibility in that aspect." I was like, "Fuck it, I'm down. I'll do anything for my brother. So joined the group, and Matt, who actually he's an Army guy, was going through some training courses with yourself and Jacob, and he was working out at your gym and had brought that completely unprepared idea to you guys, and you had kind of this epiphany of building some teams. If you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, we started the jump team in I keep forgetting it's 2015 or 2016. I've been drinking too much lately.
16.
There you go. This is why we need Mark. He remembers all this shit. It's all kind of a blur for me, but we started the jump team 2016, around April of 2016. I know it was April. That's so much to know. But some of my guys from my old unit, they were going to jump. They're free fall dudes, and they were like, they asked if, since I'm on the way, did I want to go jump with them? And I just didn't want to I had a lot going on with Aries at the time, and just I didn't have time to go to jump that day, and it would have cost a lot because I hadn't jumped in a while, and so we started I went over there and handed them some T-shirts because they're like, yeah, we'll jump with them at least, and get you some photos for your Instagram page, and so we posted it thinking oh, Aries jump team, it's funny, whatever, and it was kind of a joke, but people really latched onto it, so that's where the teams kind of started, and I won't get into too much of the jump team stuff unless we do a history of TASDEV and Aries and whatever. But that's kind of Matt approached me with the idea of let's mirror what you guys are doing and use the proceeds for funding this veteran group thing. So that's where we came in with that.
Yeah. So basically, Mike created the platform, and we just jumped on it and said, hey, we want to be able to take these veterans, law enforcement, and like-minded patriots out on these adventures in the Pacific Northwest, do exactly what we do, have these individuals in the same mindset. We're in no way, professionals, but we know we have a damn good idea of what we're doing, and through the years we built some expertise in areas, and nobody's ever gotten hurt, which is good. So we go into the whole thing with a plan. That's the whole basis of the thing, is to be prepared instead of being completely unprepared.
Yeah.
For this climb team, we prepared in a way. We have our medical plans, we have our evacuation plans, we have an alternate plan set up if we can't complete the task that's at hand. So
so that's the interesting part about you guys, is that you actually people don't understand from the outward perspective with the teams and everything. There's actually planning process, Warno, essentially
list, everything. Yeah.
So we have these things called the trip information files for all the major events where we're including the public, because you guys do your own training and shoot and stuff like that at the end of the month. But they do 4 events a year where the public's invited to it, and so they have this thing kind of like the Warno, the military equivalent of a Warno, but it just lays out everything from start to finish. It's got timeline, medical plan, all this stuff, which is really awesome that you guys do that.
Yeah, has the map, has the distance you're going to be traveling, elevation gain, all that stuff.
Yeah, and so that's so effective with you guys that we started incorporating into gun team events, and the jump team, like I said, we just fucking jump. It's just a closed group. So now that we're we've talked about the completely unprepared, now Aries climb team, what drives you to climb any of these things? Because for me, it's I fucking climb a mountain and I'm like, man, this is cool and all, but time to go back down. I'm not gonna do this for a while.
Man, it's for me, it's different for everybody, honestly. Everybody's got their own drive. One of these other guys that you asked from the climb team might have a completely different answer than I do. But for myself, it's the freedom, man. It's getting out there. It's the challenge of climbing. It's conquering, looking back on what you've accomplished from the bottom to the top. It doesn't matter the mountain as long as I get to the top. As long as I get to a point where nobody's ever been before, that's my goal.
Yeah.
I see an outcropping. I may get to the top where somebody's been before, but I look at the outcropping 2 miles to the left. I'm like, what the fuck's over there? want to see that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's been there. You know, you see all these trails, these beaten paths where people have worn down the snow 6 feet. You got walls on both sides. You're climbing up to the top of this mountain, and you just got to keep climbing in these footholds. And you get to this plateau, and you look off to the side, and there's untouched snow. Nobody walks there. Why? It's a whole mountain, you know what I mean? That's what I want to do.
Because it's scary, Mark.
Yeah.
People are fucking scared of that shit.
And they're pussies.
Yeah, that'd be me. I remember I was like, I went on the Eleanor hike. Not Eleanor. It was Lake of the Angels.
Lake
and I
of the
showed up and you
Angels.
guys were scrambling all over the fucking place where
Yep.
the clouds were and shit. That was awesome.
Yep.
Fucking crazy.
So that's when we got John Canfield on our team too. So John Canfield's the newest addition. He's part of the climb team as well. You know, he's got that like-minded mindset. I was like, hey man, I want to go climb to the top of these rocks up here. You see that peak over there? Let's hit that. Why not? So he's like, fuck it, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of people we want on the team. That's the type of people we want to come with us. But at the same time, you know, we're trying to get people out of the comfort zones. You know, people coming back, transitioning from military, people that want that brotherhood, camaraderie, that, you know, want to come back to the States or you know, just back into civilization, really. Being in that military aspect, jumping right back into civilian life, it's a hard transition for anybody.
So I want to touch on how the team is structured, because we get a lot of questions about the jump team. Oh, how do I join? I'm an airborne dude. And it's like, well, you got to be a free fall guy or civilian skydiver, but we don't really open our group for the team members to be a part of it. We'll do stuff where we sponsor a guy to go through advanced free fall, and that's where the civilian equivalent of military free fall, where you go and do your 7 jumps, and then you progress from there to get your different skydiving licenses. But what's as far as the climb team, how is yours structured? Because yours is a closed group as well of 4 individuals.
Yep.
Now
5.
John Campbell is now 5. Yeah. So how do you guys structure your team to include the civilian population and veterans and all that stuff?
So what we do, we have, like Mike was saying, we got, you know, these events 4 times a year where we're gonna invite people. Basically, people, you know, we may vet them in a way that's it's not too extreme, but we'll vet them in a way to see if they're prepared or not for an event like this. We make sure that they have the gear list. We make sure they're in an area that they can get to us without too much you know, extreme effort. We've had some guys come up from Oregon for an event. We've had some guys, you know, come over from Idaho. You know, basically local dudes that are willing to come up this way, and then we provide all the transportation from this area out to wherever we're going. We don't want to make them drive out into, you know, bumfuck Egypt and try to get back home after that, you know what I mean? So we provide everything from here, but it's on them to get to us. I mean, we basically, if we even got extra gear, if they want to come out and say they don't have crampons and we're going to climb a hard ice mountain or something, we'll get them some crampons, you know. We'll have extra packs if they don't have a pack. We took a buddy of ours, David, out on a climb, and he didn't have a pack. So I mean, Daniel had an extra pack.
But he did have canned food.
God damn it, he had canned foods, and he carried them all the way up that fucking mountain.
Fucking silly, dude.
Crazy motherfucker.
That
was on the gear list. It said no canned foods, and then he brought them.
I love that. He was like, when I showed up at Lake of the Angels, he was cooking like a fucking can of raviolis, and there's like mountain goats like sneaking around trying to eat it.
And he was drunk as shit.
Fucking
mountain goats 10 feet away, circling his tent.
Fuck, man. So, what is your favorite trip that you've been on by far?
Man,
out of all of them,
that's a toss up, man. I pull something from every trip that I go on, you know. But it's a toss up between the Mount Adams trip where we summited it, you know, just at sunrise. I was the first person top of the mountain. It's, you know, at that point in time, I was the highest person in Washington State. The Mount Rainier Pass was closed due to an avalanche, so by the time I got up there, I was the tallest human being in Washington State for a short amount of time until the rest of the crew came up. But I mean, seeing that sunrise was life changing.
That's fucking awesome.
Taking the pictures. But by far my favorite place was Lake of the Angels, man. That place is amazing.
That is a cool
Climbing
place.
up and having the clouds be part of your camp is pretty amazing. And then waking up at 4:30 in the morning and rolling over to my left and just picking fresh blueberries and popping them in my mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then getting up and stretching out and go watch the sunrise off the edge of the mountain, which is like 100 feet from where I'm sleeping. Just nothing could beat that, you know?
Yeah.
There's fish in there too. Go fishing. Whew.
See, that's super weird to me. Like, who the fuck hiked those fish up there? Because there's no fish swimming upstream.
Goddamn right.
To get to the fucking.
Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous thing ever I
Somebody
saw when I
planted
was up
those
there.
fucking things there. That's for sure.
It's silly. And so they had a backpack full of fucking fish, or
Oh,
like
that or airdrop. One
yeah.
of the two. Yeah, yeah.
Fucking weird.
Like, I wonder if somebody's gonna come up here and want to fish this lake someday.
Oh, I'm sure they were. They'll put fish there. Fucking like on a mountain. You're like, fuck, I'm not hiking up a damn fishing pole here. Like, you kidding me?
I totally did it.
But, oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you knew they were there. But then, what do
Yeah,
you
the
do?
people
are
that
you
didn't
supposed to
know.
like? Can you cook them and eat them? Or
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So nobody's just going up there.
I mean,
to
you're
fucking
not
check
you're not
either.
supposed to have a fire up above, I think, 3,000 feet.
Yeah. So there's
due
like
to-
that thing they say. Well, you can't. We didn't say you couldn't do it, but you can't have a fire.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's possible to,
It was
but you
fucking
shouldn't do
silly.
this.
shit, man.
Rules.
So what I'm picking up from a lot of like just interaction with you, because I've known you for a little bit now, like that your biggest thing on this is like your photography on this.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know you have like a website, right?
I do,
you wanna talk about
AmericanMark.com. I just made it actually. It's right now. It's just a gallery.
And it looks like shit, by the way.
It's I'm not good with computers. You know, I'm not.
The files are in the
None of that
computer.
is- It's you you just smack it around a little bit and something happens, right? But I put my pictures up on a gallery, and this spring I'm gonna be in part of the Olympia Arts Walk. A bunch of liberals walking around me, trying to buy my pictures. Hopefully I'll sell some, but I'm just in it for
That's the-
it's fun, you know.
That's the weirdest part about this fucking state is like it's such an awesome place and there's
Oh, it
so
is.
many
It's
fucking
crazy.
damn weirdos here, bro.
Yep.
And I'm sure none of them are listening to us.
Oh,
but
probably not.
Fuck, man. It's such an awesome state. Some of the best gun laws like ever. You can fucking carry whatever you want. And
Yep,
it's just like
yep.
there's a bunch of fucking weirdos here, dude. But yeah. I didn't even know this was gonna turn into an interview session because this is not even what I wanted it to be. But
Yeah.
I just want to have a conversation. But it's all right. But like, if you could name one person that inspires you, who would you say? It's gonna be me,
man,
right?
It's,
Like, I'm gonna. It's gonna be me.
Bro, I inspire myself. You know, I drive my own.
You're such a dick.
inspiration.
You
I
just got
am.
a big
It sounds like a
fucking
tool thing to say, dude. It totally, does.
is.
But
Fucking-
I mean, there's people that I didn't know existed. You know, until I had a social media
Yeah.
platform. That I get on there and like, man, this guy's a
You just
badass.
wake up. You
you
just
know?
wake up every morning. You're like, oh
Oh,
fuck.
piss excellence.
Fucking-
Yeah, you know. But
This
yeah,
is it.
you know,
This is it.
I get up and you know, I get on this social media platform like Instagram, and I'm like, man, who's this? Like Cameron Haynes? Have you ever heard of Cameron Haynes?
No.
Dude is a badass bow hunter, right? So he's out hunting. He ran an ultra marathon through the mountains,
What the fuck would you run?
200 miles.
Who runs?
200 miles, and he did it in like 70 something hours, right? He came in 14th place. 14th.
That sounds pretty
You know?
good. Like I'd come in no place.
I might be able to finish, but I'm not coming in any specific place that's very good, you know. But I mean that guy just purely inspiration. I mean there's guys out there like Jocko Willink and just other dudes that are former badasses that transition to civilian life, and they're just inspirational, you know, their whole life story. But I mean taking little bits and pieces from people like that, I mean, it helps you throughout your day, I guess, but they don't drive me to be the person I am. I drive myself, you know.
Yeah. Do you on that inspiration shit? Do you look at any other pages or anything that like you try to mirror? Because we try to do our own thing. We get inspiration from other people, but we don't try to necessarily like do the same thing. But is that like the same thing for you guys? You try to do your own fucking thing, but you get inspiration in different ways from different feeds. Is there any like? Because I know, like, I look at some of the photos and I'm like, how the fuck did they take that picture? It's
Yeah,
like
so-
almost unreal. Like, I don't know a camera that can
Oh,
fucking
for
do
sure,
that.
yeah. And there's a lot of editing that goes into that kind of shit. So
Yeah.
I try to do the least amount of editing that I that
Yeah.
I have to, because it takes away from the rawness of what's really out
Yeah, we
there.
do. So, I told you about that dude Peter McKinnon. His whole thing is like very subtle type of editing
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you can over edit the shit. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
there's some people I look at and they do like portrait photos and they like fucking edit the shit out of people's eyes and they look like fucking vampires and shit.
Yep,
So like the
yep.
same thing goes for scenery
Landscapes and
where
all
it's
that,
fucking some of
absolutely.
it's just insane to look at. You're like,
Yeah.
I've never seen a place like that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for everybody listening, if you see those pictures with the night sky and it's got the Milky Way going down the middle of the picture and it's all lit up and you got light coming from some weird source off to the left and you got light on the horizon, then there's a light coming straight up from the tent that's in the picture in the middle. That's fake shit. that doesn't exist.
Hashtag not Photoshop.
Hashtag not real at all. So I mean those are called layered photos. that person probably stayed out there and took like 100 pictures and just layered them all until they got the right scenery in mind. And then
Man,
lit
they
up
worked
certain
hard. Why are
areas.
you hating?
They
Come on,
they
bro.
worked really fucking hard for that cool picture. Yeah, it looks great, but it's not real. So I mean, take that into consideration. You want the real shit.
Man, this is what I've been waiting for. Like, I do shit talking all day long on fucking Instagram. I was about to say MySpace story. Fuck, man. There's no such thing as MySpace story, but Instagram stories, like, just shit talking. This is what I love. Like, when people are real. Fuck, man. This is awesome.
That's my opinion. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm not into the fake shit.
Yeah. This could be a whole different conversation
could.
about being real.
It
Like,
could.
we could go off on a tangent about, like,
God damn it, we can.
Just be fucking real about shit. I was talking to somebody about that today. Like, there's all these fucking people that put up this big fucking thing on Instagram or whatever, and it's just like, you're just fucking putting out a presence because you think people want to see
It's a persona,
this.
man.
God, fucking-
They want to be somebody.
I've been saying that a lot,
Socially
right?
famous.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's a future podcast I've been talking about with one of the dudes today. Teddy from the gun team. I was talking about, like, everybody. It's almost like all these people just want to fucking make themselves famous desperately that they do anything.
Yep,
Anyway, fuck, man. So in your whole time climbing, what is the biggest challenge you've experienced while climbing or hiking or any of the shit you guys do?
Mount Rainier, I got altitude sickness. That's a shitty feeling.
I've never had it. Like, I've done like, we did when I was at the unit. We did like yearly. Do you want to do the PT test, the annual PT test, or do you want to hike up to fucking?
And everybody's like, "Oh,
Camp
climb a
Muir?"
mountain. That's
Yeah.
fun."
And you're always like, "Fuck, man, that PT test would have been over in like a fucking half hour." Like, this
Yep.
is
Yep.
an all day event. I didn't get mountain sickness doing that, but like, what does that feel like? Because
You know, it's different for every person. So when I got altitude sickness, I was getting up there. I was crushing this mountain like a motherfucker. I was climbing.
You're going
I was
from-
kicking its ass, right?
you're going up to Camp Muir.
Camp Muir. So we get up, probably, I don't know, 500 feet below Camp Muir, and I just started getting these massive migraine headaches. And I'm making sure that I had electrolytes, and I made sure I had, salts and everything I needed to push through and have my body hydrated and, have the right vitamins and whatnot in your body.
Were you carrying like packets with you of anything with electrolytes or?
Yes. So at Walmart, any real grocery store, you can find, those little energy Mio squirt things.
There's like
They got
Gatorades shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatever.
and they got electrolyte squirts, so you can squirt that into your water and drink its
Oh,
flavor
Mio,
and
yeah.
stuff. It's just like the Mio stuff,
Yeah.
but it's got electrolytes as opposed to just the energy stuff. So
Okay, so you carry that while you're hiking.
I
the
carry
little-
that because it's smaller. It's you don't have to carry a big goddamn bottle of Gatorade.
Yeah.
So it's compact. You know what I mean? So I get up to this spot and I'm like, man, this is getting tough, And of course the air is thinner up there, and you're getting to a certain height where you're like just starting to feel it. You're breathing the thin air. Your head's just kind of loopy. You're getting like a little bit dizzy. You stop. You start taking these deep breaths. Slow yourself down a little bit. Your heart rate's going. Once you get acclimated a little bit, you start to feel these headaches, and I'm like, man, this is not good. I don't like this feeling at all.
Did you like for a second get like, oh fuck? Did you know what it was, or
so,
you just?
So as I was climbing, I was thinking, man, I'm dehydrated because I'm climbing up. I'm sweating this whole time. I'm carrying a lot of gear like a dumbass. This is probably the heaviest shit
Yeah.
I've carried up here.
I think you always go into something like when I was doing any missions or whatever. You're like, you walk into it, you're like, okay, what do I need? And you're like, and you just bring
I'll
all
bring
this
two.
extra shit because you're like, I don't want to get caught without it.
Like, we went from being completely unprepared to over-prepared. you know?
Yeah.
So climbing up to Camp Muir, and I don't have this lightweight, expensive $5,000 tent. You know what I mean? I got a Coleman tent. It's a Four Seasons Coleman
I thought
tent.
you guys were professionals. Come on.
Yeah, well, these other guys got this REI gear. They spend a lot
Yeah.
on their tents, and I was like, fuck it, I don't need a tent. We'd always go camping and stuff, and I never brought a tent. I'd sleep under the stars or sleep next to the fire. Or if it's raining, I bring my bivvy. You know what I mean? That's like the most I got. So I decided, hey, I need a tent. Last minute, I went and got a Coleman one. So it works the same way.
But they
it's
have
not,
those
it's
cool
not dual
fucking-
lined.
Yeah, they have those cool like electrical inputs on
Yeah,
it.
nothing fancy, But getting up there, I had the air mattress and all that. But I basically, right when we got to Camp Muir, I had to sit down, man. I just lost it. My head was just pounding and pounding and pounding. I was like, maybe if I sleep it off, it'll be good. I'll sleep for a couple hours, set up camp and went to sleep or tried to sleep. I had my head on the, I moved my mattress out of the way, put my head on the cold, snowy ground, on the bottom of the floor and just tried to sleep it out. Woke up maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later and just still pounding ate some food, relaxed a little bit. When the sun went down, it felt a little bit better just because the sun wasn't beaming on us. It was, clear skies that entire day. But after waking up the next morning, my head was still pounding. I was like, yep, this is altitude sickness. There's nothing else it could be, man.
So you
Nothing
just
else at
stayed
all.
there suffered through the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
When I walked around a little bit, tried to shake it off, take pictures, embrace the suck, if you will. But watch these other guys climb up to the next spot and next camp before they went to summit. But yeah, it was a terrible feeling. And then when the next extreme mountain we climbed was Mount Adams, which was just a few months later, and man, that mountain, I kicked its ass. I didn't have any problems at all. But TJ looked like he was getting some of the symptoms. He was getting a little nauseous when he got to the top. His head was pounding, and that's how we know, man. And there's no way to cure it. The only way to get rid of altitude sickness is to get the fuck off the mountain.
Yeah. So you just stay in that fucking hell until you start transitioning down.
Exactly.
There's nothing. Fuck, man.
And, sliding down, glissading, or running
know
down,
Dan
whatever.
loves that shit.
Daniel loves that shit. Anybody loves it, but Daniel loves to record it.
Yeah. For anybody that has followed us or like the Climb Team page or anything like that, you'll see me, because I run the Aries Clothing feed, but you'll see me talk shit to Dan because like we've got a Google Drive, and everybody, all the team members, like their mission is to take as much cool fucking footage and put it in our Google Drive, and then we have our videographer dude take that and make interesting fucking like clips and whatever. But it seems to be that and I'm probably wrong because like Dan goes, no, look at this one, and I was like, but most of the time, like you'll see him post a lot of sliding and glissading videos. Those are fucking awesome. Like it's fun as shit. But I always talk shit to him because it's like, Dan, you posted this shit again. I see like all the sliding videos are all yours, bro.
So he's got the sliding videos, which are cool. It's fun, which is dangerous as shit, by the way.
Oh,
depending
fucking
on the mountain.
yeah.
We
did that one up
some
at
pretty extreme stuff
at fucking Eleanor when we weren't able to.
Yeah,
and it was like,
so-
holy fuck.
Man. Oh.
I was too scared. I was too much of a like. I talk shit to Dan, but I'm too much of a pussy to do that shit, man. It's like, fuck, dude. I can't break my fucking legs and shit.
Just go off a ramp.
Yeah.
There's a point on Adams where we were going down, and Daniel is the glissader, man. He'll be like, hey, let's go to this side, I can get some speed, man. I get fast. I don't know why. I just get fast,
It's
So
just in your DNA.
I'm just aerodynamic is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, we get to this point. We're looking down this chute, and it looks dangerous as shit. There's a big crevasse at the bottom of it, and water flowing underneath it probably, and some jagged rocks. And Daniel's like, let's fucking glissade that.
It's like over the crevasse and
are you-
fucking.
I'm like, all right, I mean, I'll do it, but that's probably not a good idea,
Yeah.
So Daniel, of course, he just fucking does it. So he gets out there and he jumps in, starts sliding, ends up crashing into a rock wall, stabs himself with his ice axe. And
Oh, that's that.
that's the photo that
So
you
you
saw.
guys can check that photo. I don't know how long ago that was, but if you go to @Aries Clothing or shit, you go to @Aries Climb Team, and you can look at the photo where he's got like a stab wound on his like left fucking
Yep. So
side. It's
that's
gnarly.
that's when we all learned where to put the ice axe properly, because that wasn't the right spot, obviously.
Yeah, and yeah, you guys can't say you're professionals when
Oh
you're doing
no,
shit
not
like
at all.
that.
No,
Yeah.
and that's the given, right? When I started this thing, I said, hey, we're not professionals in any way. You can take some advice from us. You can have fun with us, but don't come to us for mountaineering school. 'Cause that's not what we do.
That should almost be your description on your feed. On your feed.
Yeah, probably.
We're not
should.
experts at all. Don't try any of this because we're fucking horrible. Shit, bro. All right, so we had a user submitted. We had an Instagram live. We did Instagram live right before this, and we asked some questions. One of them was Everest, yes or no? And so, what's your take on that?
Fuck, man, Everest is like $50,000. If I had the money, why the fuck not? It's the money and the time. The biggest thing
To me,
that
that seems like that's weeks or months, right?
Oh, dude,
like,
it's months. You have
fucking
to
a long time. To me, it's like
you have to have the right gear, the Sherpas and all. Those guys live up there. You have to acclimatize yourself to
What
that
a-
altitude. It's
what
nuts.
a miserable fucking life to be a Sherpa.
And
by
you know
the way.
what? Do they know anything else though? That's what they do.
They were born into it.
They're born
born
into it.
into it.
You think? I mean, the only people that are bringing stuff up there that they don't know about is the climbers. They're like, what is this iPad? What is this movies?
You think they say that? They're just like,
No,
what is this
They're
iPad?
they're probably making more money than I am, honestly.
Oh,
I don't-
dude, not spending shit. Like, they could make minimum wage, and they're fucking making more
They
money
probably
than
have
you are.
6 iPads,
Yeah. You
And
got
every
problems
movie.
like, should you eat Taco Bell on Tuesday or not?
Yeah.
You know?
Taco Bell saves my life when I'm poor. You know what I mean?
Fuck, bro. Yeah.
Top ramen and Taco Bell.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
what it's about.
Sounds delicious, actually. Did you combine those two?
I think they did. Somewhat.
Taco. You
Some
could
kind of.
you do a ramen noodle taco shell or something like that. What the fuck are we talking
I don't
about?
Sounds
So anyway,
I'd
continue
try.
on with the Everest, conversation.
All right, so
So
Everest,
you have
man,
so you have the money
Time and money, man.
Time
Time
and you
and
have
money.
like fucking 5 months off or whatever sounds too long to me,
it
but
does.
like
You know, honestly, it does. That's a big chunk of your life. Plus, it's gonna hurt like hell. You got to think about
you
that.
could die along the way. Like
oh, yeah, there's
you
a
know.
damn good chance of it. You know.
I mean, you want to risk stuff in your life. Like I jump out of planes and
Yeah,
I fucking
yeah.
cut away and like I almost die and whatever.
100%,
But
100%.
and it's
if
worth
I
it
had,
to me.
If
because
I had
it's
the time
fucking-
and the money, I'd do it. Hands down. Hands down, I'd do it.
So you just got to get rich. And
Exactly.
Then,
And then just quit my job, quit my day job.
It sounds so that I'm thinking about like how people die in that. It's like they fall in crevasses, right? Is that
Yep.
a fucking thing up there?
Fall
So
in
like
crevasses, just freeze.
so you just
heart
slide
attacks.
down this fucking crack and you just like what? Like you you
into
fucking
the
squeeze
fucking
it into
abyss.
nothing and you're just like look up. That's like my hell. If I could
Oh,
like
man,
if I
yeah.
could be like stuck in something and you're just like looking up and you can't move and you're just like fuck. Like that's why I'm not interested in it because of crevasses. They eat you, bro.
You know, Daniel has a fear about caves. Okay, it's the same
For
thing.
real?
Big fear of caves. You know,
Like he doesn't even have to go in them and
well,
he's afraid of
what's,
them.
What's weird is he's been inside, ape caves. Ape caves out by Mount
That's
St. Helens.
that is
It's
fucking
a cool
nuts.
place. It's you can explore it by yourself. You don't need a guide or anything.
Yeah. Well, just don't
But,
go
like-
there with just a cell phone like me
Yeah,
and go
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're
My
doing
f-
it. And I got
bro.
a small kid with me, totally irresponsible. And I'm like, fuck, I got 7% on my phone. We're about halfway through this thing. Hopefully somebody comes by.
My flashlight died the first time I went there. It
Yeah,
was
and
pretty horrible.
And there's no light whatsoever.
No, it's pitch black. Yeah, absolutely. So you watch these movies like The Cave. You watch these movies like The Descent. You watch these movies like, what was that? The one James Cameron made. Fucking epic cave movie.
Dante's Inferno,
No,
is that
no,
with
no, not
Pierce
that
Brosnan?
one. Something like not that one. Fuck that movie. Anyways, it's it's extreme. They're underwater. They underwater caving, spelunking and whatnot. And the dudes run out of air and they're like sucking the air from the little air pockets at the top of the cave. So think of the adverse. You're on a mountain, right? And you get sucked into a crevasse or slip and fall into a crevasse, and the snow just covers you from the top, or you get avalanched on. No air. You're just stuck in snow and you get crushed.
Dude, that would
It's
be the
same
fucking
fuck-
worst.
It's terrible. Think
You're
that way,
fucking
you know what I mean?
sucking air out of the top of a thing of water.
Yeah.
And you're like, you could technically survive and you might die because of starvation. Like that's obviously there's enough water you could drink, but like, or fucking exhaustion and then you drown. Like,
and then
but
hope to
that's-
God that there's
holy shit.
there's oxygen in that air.
No,
It could just be methane you're breathing in.
Yeah. Well, that'd be better than oxygen because you'd at least go, but you never know how long. Because I didn't see that movie, but don't spoil it. No, I won't watch it.
I'm gonna let you borrow it.
I won't watch it. But because that shit freaks me out. Like small, like that's my fucking
Yeah,
thing. Is
it's-
like you only have like a fucking tube,
Yeah.
and there's like a mile to get to fucking air, which you,
And you're
you
just
probably couldn't.
sucking
Yeah,
it down. Oh.
And you can see, and the people are like, "Oh, look at that fucking jackass!" And you're just like, "I'm dying, please help me."
Oh, it's terrible.
But like, you're sitting there, like think about that. Like you're sitting, all you can do is breathe this fucking air, and you're like, "Holy fuck! I hope somebody comes here with more
Yeah,
oxygen,
yeah.
and we can buddy breathe." Like
Yep.
that's
It's
fucking
insane.
crazy. Anyway.
Well, that's segues, dude. So
Yeah.
So we don't only climb mountains as a climb team.
You get stuck in caves
we
underwater.
we call it a climb team. Shit, man, spelunking.
You guys don't
I'd try
climb
that
much
too.
though. I will say this is that there's not much climbing going on. You guys
Absolutely.
hike
Yes,
a fucking
we hike,
ton more.
We hike a lot, like the Ozette Triangle, the Cape of Vala Loop on the coast. We did a camping trip out there, overnighter. It's a beach. It takes it's a hike. You take a few miles out to the
Yeah.
beach. There's no way to access that beach except for to walk to it. So you get out there, you get these crazy, beautiful views, these wildlife's all over the beach, deer eating shrubs, and you got all these fishing vessels that dump all their shit off
There's
to the
music
side.
playing and grandeur.
Yeah, build a cottage and no, none of that shit. But it's really cool. I just like to hike. I think if I couldn't do Everest, I'd do the PCT, Pacific Crest Trail.
Well, we're supposed to do that, but then fire fucking.
I mean the
ends
entire
that.
fucking thing though, like from Canada to Mexico,
Ugh.
it takes like goddamn 5 months.
You run
to do,
into
know
some
what
of
I
those
mean?
people on that trail because like we do when I was at my old unit, we did every year we did. Well, it was like they started doing it. It was like I think they did 2 by the time I was out, but you do that 100 miles, like from White Pass to Snoqualmie Pass,
Yeah.
and it's like you run into some of those people that do that, and they're like zombies,
Yep.
and like they live on the trail, and they smell fucking
smell
horrible. You can
terrible.
smell the balls on some of those
Oh,
dudes like a
man.
fucking mile away. You're like, I think there's a fucking piece of deer coming
Sasquatch.
up, bro. They just lumber down there, just like endlessly, just fucking walking,
Oh man.
just walking, and like. And
You
you
know-
walk up to them and they're going slow as fuck.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure some of them go really fast. I've heard of people like trying to break records of getting up that thing, but
Yep.
there's some of them that are just like,
There's
I've
a-
been walking on this fucking thing way too long.
Some
Holy
12-year-old girl finished it, man. That's
From
that's
start to
insane.
finish?
From start to
shit.
finish.
Holy fuck.
It makes me feel like a pussy.
Yeah. In everything you do. Like, I
Yeah.
feel fucking horrible. Fuck, dude. Fuck. Anyway, Mark, it was good having you on. It's fucking cool. We'll see how this develops over time, but I appreciate
yeah.
you coming out and fucking talking about you being on the climb team and about the climb team in general. You got anything to so let's talk, so push the climb team and whatever else, like on Instagram.
Climb Team on Instagram at Aries Climb Team, guys. Come check it out, as well as Aries Clothing. We're linked. You know what I mean? By
Yeah.
the hip.
And then you got American Mark.
AmericanMark.com, at AmericanMark on Instagram. Come check it out. It's a gallery, guys. You can email me, send me your dick pics and whatnot. I won't post
You're
them.
asking for it. Like, you just asked for it. Yeah. I won't post your dick pics, but
But I'm gonna post them so everybody can see them. You know, it just come support the cause, guys. It's a lot of fun. I'm not out here for publicity. I'm out here just for fun, man. You don't live very long. You know what I mean? We're on this world for a short amount of time. Enjoy it.
awesome, dude. So, yeah, to pile on to Mark's thing, it's a non-profit, not in the sense that he has like a legitimate non-profit, but they do shit for free for veteran community. So go check them out. Aries Climb Team, American Mark on Instagram, and then AmericanMark.com. Fucking anyway, guys, go to AriesClothing.com, buy some shit from us. It supports dudes like American Mark and the rest of the team, guys. Appreciate you guys supporting us, but we'll see you next time.
Later.